Hello guys, this is an awesome day. It was really worth it to wake up and read the comments because Frank has posted an awesome comment again. He always does. So if you tune into my channel and you find that my videos are way too boring and you have just maybe a minute in your day, in your life, then this is what I recommend you guys to do is just click on a video that I post and read the comments. And if you see Frank Gerate's posting, read his post and that was worth it. Okay, you don't have to spend like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, 30 minutes watching a video. Just read his post. Okay, and it doesn't matter what the video title is, just read what he comments, because what he is posting is really valuable advice. It's just pure gold. So now I'm going to read one of his posts about regulation. And he said, regulation almost always leaves a sonic imprint in 95% of cases, but there are some exceptions. Many regulated power supplies have additional errors made in filtering after the regulator. So what is Frank talking about? So basically what he says that when you have regulation for your power supplies, it will have a substantial effect in the sound. When you just read start to get familiarized with how electronics work, what things work, one of the first things you read is that regulated power supplies are better than non-regulated supplies. And there's truth in that, but there's truth in the opposite as well. And if you have a crappy, a piece poor circuit, if you throw regulation on it, of course you are going to see maybe massive improvements. But when you have a really well executed circuit and you put regulation on it, maybe you will not like the result at all. And that's because regulation makes a big impact on the circuit. And there's one thing, one very interesting thing, is that the type of regulator that you use, it makes the sound uniform. So even if you change the circuitry that actually amplifies your signal, that's part of the preamplifier or an amplifier, because you can regulate a preamp, you can regulate an amp, you can regulate your DAC, you can regulate your phono stage, you can regulate anything that makes sound. And when you throw in a regulator, the regulator will throw its sonic signature to the packet. And that's why when we are talking about DACs, about digital to analog conversion, that's why people don't realize that a very large portion of how your DAC sounds is based on your regulator, because pretty much every single DAC on the market uses regulation for its power supplies, and the regulation often has a much bigger impact on the sound than the DAC chip you are using, or is it 1-bit, multi-bit, is it 386K resolution, or just 44K, is it 16-bit or 1 quadrillion bits. The regulator makes the sound much more uniform. So if when you use a regulator and you keep on changing the elements in the circuitry, it will have a much smaller impact compared to using not regulating the supply, but just making sure that you have a properly filtered high current capacity supply. So what Frank says, the second part is, many regulated power supplies have additional errors made in filtering after the regulator. So the regulator is making errors and it's injecting its errors into the signal. And that's why regulation is so critical, and how it is done, because how many errors does it inject to the circuitry? That's an entire big field of discussion in itself. However, what I can tell you right now, to make it's kind of like cutting the chase to the finish line. Your regulator circuit the job that it should do is to regulate the current demand of the signal stages. However, how it's applied in 99.9% of the cases, that the regulator is tasked with the duty of ripple rejection, of hum filtering of the power supply. So in that case, that regulator has to do double duty. It has to get rid of the that 120 hertz or 60 hertz, 50 or 100 hertz hum that's coming from your power supply. So it's us to create a clean and quiet pool of DC voltage. And at the same time, it's also us to conform to the highly variable demands of the signal stage. And this is the recipe for mediocrity. You are never ever going to get high level sound from this situation. If you want to use a regulator, give it a well filtered DC voltage, and when the voltage is filtered, all the regulator has to do is to filter out that tremendously variable demand that the signal stage is providing. And that's when a regulator can be a means toward achieving a high level of sound. But when you are tasking it to fight with two fronts, it will just get, it cannot do that job properly. It's like you have an employee and you can have the employee specialized to do one thing or another. You can hire a specialist, but you hire a specialist that specializes in two opposing fields. Well, in theory, there are people like that, but just as in real life, you are not going to find them by the thousands, by the millions. If you are a company and you want to hire a person who is proficient in everything, good luck for that. And if you find one, he's going to demand you premium wages. So let this be an indication to everyone, is that if you are buying gear and there's power supply regulation in it, and it's tasked with the double duty of creating a ripple-free DC and regulating the signal stage as well, and it was done on a $10 budget for the regulator circuit, then sayonara, bye bye, goodbye, ciao for high level sound. Enter mediocrity. So thank you, Frank, for your excellent comment, and I hope this was a little bit of a hint on what you can expect when you are looking for audio gear. Have fun, please like, subscribe, regulate or not, it's up to you. Bye bye.